All right, I cannot believe it's come to this, but I want to show you all this heartbreaking video of two military brothers accompanying their mom to immigration court to protect her from Trump's ICE goons because they're worried about what they've seen. And their worries are rooted in the reality that we've all seen over the past few months, where Trump directs ICE to surgically target people following the proper legal procedures. People who have been waiting for their day in court for a while are getting plucked up and deported. I mean, even beyond this being inhumane and incredibly vile, just think about the perverse incentive structures this creates. Imagine being somebody who wants to follow the proper legal processes, but you're too scared to go to court. Imagine as being somebody who doesn't have two military sons and you have to go alone. People who want to follow the proper processes may begin to skirt them out of fear. So it raises a lot of questions about due process, about the authoritarian expansion of Trump's executive power. And I want to talk about all of that and play this video. But you know, while I was researching for this, I came across this article, and the title of this article kind of pissed me off more than it should have. So the title is called ICE's Novel Strategy Allows for More Arrests from Inside Immigration Courts. What do you mean novel strategy? By novel strategy, do you mean an authoritarian legal trap that is inhumane and subverts due process? What do you mean this novel strategy? They're acting like it's like a neutral strategy or almost admirable, right? It's not a novel strategy. It is outrageous, and legal experts say it is potentially unconstitutional because you're having people walk into courts, and after they walk into court to follow the processes, you deport them. For example, one political asylee from Belarus who opposed the country's 7-term president Lukashenko was sitting in a Minnesota immigration courtroom last month. It was the first immigration court hearing for his eldest son. He was there for his son. They just wanted more time for the lawyer to get the asylum application through, and while the father and son were about to leave the building, believing their cases were now going to continue, as one, officers with ICE met them just a few steps from the exit with handcuffs and told the father he was subject to expedited removal within 3 days in front of the son. Absolutely vile and disgusting. Even beyond that, we have an Afghan ally who served alongside U.S. forces and was legally paroled into the U.S., just showed up for his first hearing. So this man fought for our country and comes here to be safe, to live the rest of his life out in a safe way, and the DHS detained him right away, using vague, improvidentially issued excuses, even though he followed all of the rules. And look what he says.
What's your name? Let me ask you, is disposition in the court order or anything like that? Documentation as court order?
I don't have any documentation for you.
Okay.
He's asking his name.
Yeah, go ahead. Continue. No, the opposite. No, we'll go this way.
What's your name? What's your name?
You don't have his name. You're not entitled to his name.
No, go. We'll go.
They don't have his name. They don't have a warrant.
ID him.
I work with the U.S. military back in my home country.
Okay.
I have all the documents. I didn't have a credible fear interview. I work with the U.S. military. I was interpreter. I work with the U.S. military.
Do you have a warrant for his arrest?
Yes, we do.
Provide the warrant. Provide the warrant.
I work with the U.S. military. Just tell to the...
You could come with us, sir. You could
Provide the warrant.
You could come with us.
You don't have a warrant.
I work with the U.S. military back in my home country, Afghanistan. See, this is my situation.
Can I see his warrant?
Yes, I'll show it to you in the elevator.
Or you could show it now and make sure it's the right person. Because I've seen you cuff the wrong people.
Could you back up, please?
They do take the wrong people. They have no warrant. They don't know his name.
Embarrassing.
But I say like more than 3 years I worked with the U.S. military back in my home country. But I came here
Back up.
Thank you for your service.
to make a better life. I didn't know that it's gonna happen like this for me.
If you want to hear what he's saying, sorry, the sound is a little bit muffled in that video, but what he's saying is, I was a translator in Afghanistan. I helped. I came here for a better life.
I never thought about this. I have all the evidence that I work with the U.S. military, everything.
He's saying he worked to help soldiers, to save lives. He never thought this would happen.
I was interpreter. I work in a very dangerous part of Afghanistan with the U.S. military. Right.
So where's your phone?
Your neighbors stand with you.
Okay.
You don't have their name. You don't have a warrant.
See,
You make our country
It's just disgusting, and that's why I don't blame these military brothers for accompanying their mom. It actually gave me chills because in recent weeks, federal immigration authorities have adopted this deeply troubling, vile, inhumane tactic of identifying immigrants with pending court dates, many of whom are diligently complying with all legal requirements, then detaining them before they can appear before a judge. It's not a matter of like apprehending individuals with outstanding warrants who have committed repeated crimes and been evading the system. No, no, no. They are targeting people who are playing by the rules, showing up for hearings, and in many cases have strong legal grounds to remain in the United States. Watch this clip. Drop a like for these brothers.
2 members of the National Guard, seen here, decided to accompany their mother to her Chicago immigration appointment.
We fear that she might get taken into custody. There's been reports of that. They get a text or an appointment. They have to come in, and they end up getting detained.
Well, 3 hours after arriving for her appointment, the mother left without incident, accompanied by her 2 sons in uniform.
Yeah, those are great sons, and it's nice to see the National Guard being used for something solid, or at least, you know, a piece of the National Guard being used for something good, because what has been really, really crucial lately, what sets this wave of enforcement apart from previous deportations, is that federal agents are willing to detain individuals with no warrants. No warrants whatsoever. A lot of people point to the Obama-era deportations and say, oh, you know, Obama was just as bad. No. Obama did deport a lot of people, but he didn't do it without warrants, without due process. And what Trump is doing is the ICE agents under Trump, they're relying on broad and loosely defined claims of exigent circumstances. So they're saying that these people are flight risks, when in reality, it's just like an Afghan translator that wants to live a better life in the United States. This is not what America is for. This is terrible. You can't retroactively criminalize somebody, because what they do is they detain immigrants who have complied with all legal requirements. As I said, then they'll retroactively label them as security threats, or in some cases, violent criminals. I mean, even Venezuelan asylum seekers have been targeted en masse under the pretext of alleged gang affiliation. One more time, people who come here for a better life and seek asylum from Venezuela are then just put in this broad category of gang affiliated, and removed, or at least their protected status is removed. It's disgusting. I'm going to leave it at that. If you appreciate the videos we make, you can join the crew below. We are currently scaling, adding new faces to the channel so we can beat MAGA media in a very, very huge way. I love all of you guys. See you in the next one. Peace out.